Win the incredible Steigercraft, Evinrude, Loran's Grand Prize Boat Package, and more in the Fisherman's 2018 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details at thefisherman.com.
Hi there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. Well, hopefully everybody in the viewing audience here made it through the hurricane last weekend without any major issues. Obviously, to those of you who are still affected along the mid-Atlantic, wish you a speedy recovery, hopefully better times in the future. But for the most part, southern New England only really received some wind and rain from the storm. Here shooting the video today, it's been sunny, it's been cloudy, it's been windy, then it's clear, calm, it's all over the place. It's the trailing effects of that storm, but if there's a positive to be had out of the storm, it really seemed to kickstart the inshore bite on pretty much all species. By all accounts, it appears that the fall run is officially on. Unfortunately, offshore in general was a bit slow the past week, aside from some good bluefin action up around the Cape and on into Cape Cod Bay, with fish from large recreational to legit giants being landed. Guys from the Goose Hummock have been doing really well in the tuna with several 100+ inch fish in the last week and a half, to their credit, so congrats there, guys. Before I go any further, as I noted over the last couple of weeks, I'm still looking for some viewers to contribute video clips with their reports and findings from across New England. This week we have a few contributors, as you'll see, but if you'd like to participate going forward, just shoot me an email at Lapinski, Lapinski at thefisherman.com, and we can discuss the details. Real simple process. All you need is your cell phone to shoot the videos, get them over to me, and we'll be good. So shoot me an email if you're interested, and we can discuss it. All right, starting off up in Massachusetts, on Martha's Vineyard, the Martha's Vineyard Bluefish Striped Bass Derby kicked off on September 9th. It runs through October 13th, so there's still plenty of time to get involved in this cool tournament, which the Fisherman magazine sponsors. There's been some solid action on false albacore, bonito, striped bass, and bluefish all around the island from both boat and surf, kicking off right from the opening bell of the tournament. But you know what? Don't take my word for it. Let's check in with Amy Coffey out on the Vineyard for this week's update on the Derby.
Thanks, Toby. I'm bringing you the story from the heart of it all, from Derby headquarters down on Martha's Vineyard. And the story of the tournament's told on that board behind me. But our tournament started out well, a little choppy on the seas. Easterly, northeasterly winds. It kept a small craft advisory going on, but it didn't stop our fishermen from getting out there for a Super Saturday. This Saturday was bluefish, and we saw Sean Reedy bring in a fantastic 18.39, which you can see on the board behind me. Got him a nice space on the grand leaders. And also up on the board, not to be outdone, in the shore division, Cosmo Krenya bringing in a nice 29.04 striped bass off the shore. But Cosmo got knocked off this morning as Craig Munsell brought in a 35.83. Wrapping up this recap with Kids Day. This Sunday was Kids Day, and we had hundreds and hundreds of kids out on the docks of the Oak Bluffs. Big shout out to Liam O'Donnell, bringing the biggest sea bass at 21 inches. See you on the high seas. Catch 'em up.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Amy. One of the species up there, one of the eligible species in the Derby, the false albacore, they have been a hot topic of conversation, both between anglers reporting finding them across southern New England, and then the rest of us, like me, wondering where they might be on a given outing, hoping to score their first albie of the season. But up on the Vineyard remains one of the better spots, the areas, Vineyard, Nantucket, that in the islands there so far this season, to connect with an albie. Received an email early Wednesday morning. Justin Cooper, he went out to the island on Tuesday, and just after he arrived on the Vineyard, he already had a pair of fine albies under his belt. Both fish landed on metals. One was on a Hoagie peanut bunker jig, and the other on a Shimano Colt sniper. And then later today, just before I shot the video, I got a follow-up from him. He got several more albies from shore on Wednesday. So he got a couple Tuesday, a few on Wednesday. I'm very jealous. Congrats on the catches. Let's see. Continuing along with this week's video contributors, as I mentioned, Dane Ardente has been hitting the East Bay waters in Rhode Island, both by boat as well as in the surf. Let's see what he has been finding in the roady waters.
Thanks, Toby. Well, it looks like the easterly blow of last Tuesday got things moving here in Rhode Island a little bit. I surf casted Wednesday night from the Aquidneck Island area with a plethora of 28 to 32 inch striped bass, being the first big number of keepers for this fall I've seen so far. Thursday night was a little slower. The seas were a little bigger and it was just a little tougher to fish. Saturday, fished from boat in the Newport area, and there was a large number of false albacore early in the morning, and they were being picky, and they started to disperse as the morning went on and kind of disappeared a little bit. Otherwise, I fished tonight, which is Monday, in Jamestown, and there was a large number of peanut bunker with a even bigger number of bass and bluefish on them. The bass ranging in the smaller size up to the bigger ones being at just about keeper size. But with all this bait stacked up around in the bay in Rhode Island and out front, it looks like things are going to heat up pretty quickly here for fall.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot. I got to echo Dane's report here as I was fishing off the Newport, around Newport, excuse me, on Friday with Captain BJ Sylvia of Flippin' Out Charters, and I can confirm that there are schools, or there were at least a week ago now, schools of very finicky false albacore in the area. We found them, we chased them, we cast at them, but even though we didn't hook up, fortunately the albies were only a target to pass the time for us during the slack water. Once tide got going again, we got a good catch of black sea bass, some nice blackfish. BJ had one a little over 9 pounds. So we had some quality fish on the day, hitting some of his pet wrecks around Narragansett Bay. It was really cool. Got to fish with BJ, obviously, and the guys from Humminbird and Minn Kota. And they showed me how their trolling motors and fish finders pair up to make even someone like me an even better fisherman. So stay tuned. Working on a feature based off this trip for the November issue of the Fisherman magazine. It was a really cool, eye-opening experience. We're going to talk about what we found that day. And then last but not least, in between weather events the last week and a half or so, Captain Greg of the Black Hawk down in Niantic, Connecticut has been doing really, really well on a variety of species in Long Island Sound. He said that bluefish have finally arrived in the waters around the race, with a semi-consistent bite being found on diamond jigs. For the most part, the fish have been there. Talked to a handful of other guys that have been taking runs out to the race, doing well on them. A couple of guys have missed here and there, but I mean, we're just happy to have some bluefish around for those of us looking to score some. And then, let's see, Captain Greg said actually on those days when the bluefish don't seem to be hitting, or if the clients on the day just want to do some bottom fishing, they are still slamming great catches of black sea bass and porgies. Fluke have been rather difficult to come across in the Sound. Seems like that best bite is still out off the south side of Long Island. Pretty good trek for any of us here in New England to make the run over and do, but there's plenty of porgies and some massive ones. Black sea bass, all some eligible Dreamboat Species Challenge fish, so if you still need to add a couple of points to your score, you got some great shots there. All right, well, there you have it. As always, I'm Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, wishing you tight lines if you head out onto the water this weekend.